Hello and welcome to the St Kilda and Bayside Report, wrapping up June 2019. My name is Gary Peer.
And I'm Jeremy Rose. Not only are we wrapping up, Gary, we are looking forward.
We are looking forward
to July, if I'm not mistaken. That is the point of this show, isn't it?
Hey, half the year's gone. How quick was that?
Oh, Gary, don't depress me. You know, I'm the other side of 40, and
Same as me.
Oh, yes, you're very much the other side. You're actually don't go there. You're closer to double 40 almost.
Ridiculous. No, I'm not going to close to double 40. Mr. Rosens, we have been away on a conference.
Gary.
Let's re-engage ourselves back there, because with this green screen behind us, we can be anywhere. So we're now back.
What green screen behind us,
We are
Gary?
now back in Cabo.
We are not. That's not a green screen, Gary. That is the sunny shores of Cabo.
Right. How good is it to be back in Cabo again? Although I must say you're a bit overdressed for the occasion with the tie on.
Well, Gary, I've got to say this is our first GPTV Bayside version with the new setup.
Yep.
And I got to tell you, I woke up this morning.
Pretty good out there.
That's good, Gary. I woke up this morning and I made an effort.
Yep.
With almost everything other than my hair to present myself in a manner that is probably befitting of such a show.
Yeah.
Tie, I put even this little thing here. And I see you are in a dark suit with no tie and no pocket square. There's nothing fancy about you other than your hair.
Yeah, well, do you think my hair's fancy?
Not fancy for the good reasons. But yes, Cabo was good, Gary. It was a great little learning experience too.
And interesting, when you go away and you hear from the Americans, you realise how far advanced Australians are. I reckon we are up there. In terms of real estate practice, I reckon Australia is, and Melbourne as the auction capital of the world, in terms of how we present our properties, style them, sell them, I reckon we're world class right here, Melbourne. Congratulations, buyers, sellers and Victorians. We do it better than anyone.
I think we market them better too, Gary.
I think so.
And you know what's funny about, we go and we cross the Pacific Ocean. Do we cross the Pacific? Anyway, we go to Cabo to meet these American people to find out how they do it. Yeah. And I've not had any American people come to Melbourne. Yeah. Does that tell you more about the fact that Americans don't want to come to us?
They think they know it all. They think they're.
It was interesting though, Gary. It was interesting. But when you come home, you realise that we do it pretty well.
We do it pretty well. Talking about doing it well, how about last weekend? First weekend's results, that was 75%, probably the best clearance in a year.
Across Victoria, Gary?
Yeah. What do you reckon about that?
Can we call it, or we're just going to sit on the fence and say that it's just a more positive market?
No,
I think the market's back, Gary.
I reckon it's back.
I think it is back. There's confidence, there's energy, there's bidding.
Yep.
I think on Monday morning when we went through all of the sales, we had an average of about 3 or 4 bidders.
Hey, I went to a couple of your auctions.
Yes, Gary.
I went to Ripley Grove, believe it or not. Yes. You did a great job there. But how about Alexander Street? What an auction that was.
8 bidders, Gary.
How's that? Now, this apartment was expected to sell somewhere in the sort of maybe anywhere between the low to mid to high fives.
Correct.
Sold for over 650.
Huge result.
And 8 bidders.
Great apartment.
What's going on there?
But 8 people bidding is a
What's
phenomenal.
Going on there?
I mean, in a boom market, Gary, to have 8 bidders is something extraordinary.
So you did a great job there. Congratulations. So I've got a few other interesting results. I think you were busy in Ackland Street. Not shopping or not eating, but selling. Tell us about the sale there.
Gary. This is a Michael Jonas special here. We've had a bit of a love affair with 131 Ackland Street.
We sure have. That's a great block.
Right in the middle of Ackland Street. Now, this is a studio apartment, Gary, where we sold it about, this is an interesting take on the market, about 12 months ago we sold it for around 370.
We sold it, yep.
Yeah, we did sell it.
And we felt how much did you sell it for this time?
Well, we sold it with competition, Gary, from 3 bidders for a studio apartment in St Kilda for $393,000.
So how much was sold last time?
370.
How long ago?
12 months.
So,
near enough too.
So in some cases things have gone back, but this is one that's gone forward. What do you attribute that to?
Well, I think when you buy well-located real estate, this was a good-looking apartment, well-located real estate in a great little strip shop down there in Ackland Street, and you buy into St Kilda, which has been voted previously as one of the top 2 places to invest your money, not just in Victoria, Gary, but in the whole of Australia. Yes. With Elwood coming in, Elwood and St Kilda, first and second place.
Parity, I think.
You can't go wrong, Gary.
Hey, should we show the vendor? This very happy vendor.
How about this? A few words to
let's
say.
show it.
Why not?
So I just sold my apartment in St Kilda. I was super happy with the exemplary service that Michael and Jeremy provided, and woo!
Well, that's a happy vendor. That's how we like our vendors to be.
I must tell you, Gary, there's a funny story here because this vendor was around the corner, sort of down in the back of her, not in the apartment, but in the common area.
Yes, yep.
And we went and did the auction. We came out. It was a non-referral auction. And for those that don't know what that means, we didn't pass it in or have a break. We just
straight
went
on.
all the way
On the
through.
market, sold on Alabama. Yep.
And the guys were busy doing the documentation post-auction, so I thought I would go out and just congratulate the vendor.
Yeah.
And there she was with her back turned to me. She had her earphones in with music blaring and she was dancing, doing all that.
How good's that?
And she pulls her things out and I said, do you know what happened? And she said, no, I've got no idea. I'm too nervous. And then I told her the price and she used a few pieces of English that shouldn't really be repeated, expletives, about how excited she was. So shout out to her.
And I've got to say to you, because you don't know this, I'm going to share something with you now.
Yes, Gary.
I went to the vendor of Alexander Street when you were doing your stuff and it was flying and it went way above reserve. And that vendor was very teary with emotional joy as well. So there you go. So we're bringing people to tears, Jeremy.
Well, Gary, I've been doing that for many
I
years.
know
But it's
you have.
great to hear that it's
not
all
just
for the
us.
positive.
It's not just your partners, which is good to know. Last time we met, we were in Waterloo, Waterloo Crescent, and we had a good auction there too, didn't you?
Big auction,
Tell us
Gary.
a bit about that.
Competitive bidding as well. That's a beautiful, that's sort of a bit of a trophy landmark property for
Price is
mine.
undisclosed, I believe.
Price is, which is
what
a bit of a
was the statement
shame.
of information? What was expected? We can give some clues.
I think and from memory, we probably had a reserve or a range, I think, of 1.5 to 1.65.
Okay. And suffice to say, we got somewhere in there or above there? Or?
No, we were. I think we were above there, Gary.
okay.
We were.
Well, you know
Well,
it.
we were toward the top end, and
Okay.
probably, I think that's probably enough said.
Fair enough. Now, we've got some exciting offerings, but before we go to them, Holroyd Avenue, that was another...
Holroyd
very,
Avenue,
very good one.
Yep, that was a great result. That's a beautiful period home. We
Not disclosed again.
Again, it's undisclosed, Gary. I could probably,
It's boring.
I can say that
Nobody
the number,
wants to hear about it, yeah.
our quote range started around 1.8 to 2, and it's fair to say that our result was well in excess of 2, comfortably.
Okay, you can say that.
Another fantastic high-end property in East St Kilda sold.
We're busy in Blenheim Street, and we've got a sale there that we can talk about the result. It's not undisclosed. That is, of course, 41 Blenheim Street. That went to auction.
Yes.
Tell us a bit about that one.
Well, Nikki and Limor were handling this, and when I turned up to the
look a
auction,
bit lost
I had,
on this one. Have I caught
no,
you
no,
out?
no, because we've got one coming up. So, Gary, I'm just trying to use the brain to compute the future with the past.
We've got a few coming up, I think.
Just the one in Blenheim, just the one. But the one that we sold, I turned up to that auction. Nick and Lee Moore were there, and they handed me a sheet of paper, which is the sort of general feel. And I
They
thought
also had a very happy vendor that went on video with some comments.
they did too, Gary. They did too. But this one was a ripper. This was a beautiful architecturally designed home, and a beautiful home with competitive bidding as well. It was a really cold Sunday morning, and I didn't bring enough chocolates, Gary. So I had to go back to the car mid-auction and hand out auctions. And I'm pleased to say there was an agent bidding on behalf of somebody, and I went to give him the chocolates. He will remain nameless, and he went to take the chocolates, and I swiftly took them away from him. I said, they're not for you, they're for the client, and don't tell them that you got them for them. This is for them.
That's good.
Not sure what the point of that story was.
Not sure. Well, we'll get a letter from the RIV saying
No doubt, if not from that agent.
Well, both.
Because they probably watched this show.
Lamprey Avenue, is that the best street in East St Kilda?
It
Avenue?
would be absolutely one of the top 5, Gary.
I think I shared on the show, on the GPTV show.
The sister program,
The sister
Gary.
program, I did share that when I started to educate my kids about real estate, I said, if you want to know great real estate, walk with me down this street. As we walk down this street with its coachman's lamps, with the power underground to the park at the end
If
of the
I
street.
have to hear this story
but it's a great
one
story.
more time,
It warms my heart.
I reckon the viewers who have watched this, I don't know, for more than a year and a half have probably heard it 3 times already.
Anyway, well sold. Congratulations to Philip Kingston and team who were involved in the sale of 14 Lamprey Avenue, a tightly held street, price undisclosed, but the price guide was somewhere around that $2 million. That was the guide.
And a shout out
say how much.
A shout out to the buyer who became a vendor last weekend, who we sold for quite well.
Yeah, congratulations to them.
Congratulations to him and his wife.
Jeremy, we've got some offerings coming up. I'm going to throw this out of camera now.
That's
we've got
very not Steve Weiser, David Letterman.
Yeah, it was Letterman.
Have you seen Letterman lately?
You used to do that on the show more often than I did.
I was going to do it, but
Letterman,
I thought
he looks
with
like
the new
Moses.
environment,
He looks like
freak
Moses.
show.
What's going on there?
Oh, I'm waiting for you to just get to that point. Where it's a real sign that it's like tracksuit pants. You've just given up.
You've got to be a certain level of wealth to be able to not give a
I
stuff
don't think it's about
and
wealth,
dress
Gary.
like that
I think
and look
it's
like
about
that.
kind of, what's that person you are. You're there, Gary. I mean,
is that
you've
right?
got your name all over the place.
Oh, yeah, great.
I mean, there's coffee cups with your name on it.
Oh, wow, you've really made it. When
You've
you've got a coffee
arrived,
cup.
Gary. You really have.
Exactly right.
Credit to you, mate.
Yeah. Thanks so much for that. I've got to say, I went and saw David Letterman, actually. I went and saw him live before he retired, of
In
course.
Vegas, of course.
No, he was
Your
in New
other
York.
home?
No, he was in New York. I went and saw the Letterman show recorded. And, he was such a perfectionist that, it was a continuous show. And when the ads were on, the break were on, He would just stand there and he'd get ready and he'd count it in. And when you watch the show, it looked like everything just flowed so well, and it did, because he was a consummate professional, Jeremy.
You know, Gary, there are
It was
no...
quite extraordinary.
You know, when you watch the show and it has success, there are always very simple secrets to success. And he doesn't muck around. He was a perfectionist.
Perfect. He was perfect timing.
I would say he was the exact opposite of what we are
exactly right.
with this show.
Him and Johnny Carson, they were it. Let's talk a little bit.
Carson, Gary?
Exactly right. Let's talk about new listings, Jeremy.
Let's talk about them, Gary.
We've got some stuff coming up. Hey, Ardoch Avenue, that's a bit of a favourite address of yours.
It is. We've sold one in there. We've got apartment 5 at number 10 Ardoch Avenue. This one's a ripper, Gary. Great floor plan. The Ardoch complex.
Quanta Costa por favore.
Okay, well, we've left Cabo, Gary, but we're back in Ardoch. That's 5 at 10. That's 7 to 750, Gary. 2 beds, 1 bath, open plan living. Got the village green in the middle, which is a sensation. Got a swimming pool, got a gym.
Yeah, you
It's
need
got
a
everything,
gym.
Gary.
Yeah,
You could probably retire there, Gary.
You could retire
You'd
there.
be close to it, I'd imagine.
I'm getting there.
pushing
With
you
age, I
very
would.
hard.
I like it. Blenheim Street, we've got a little one-bedroom apartment
little
there.
one-bedroom,
I shouldn't
Gary.
say little, because it's actually got it's a good size,
Tell you
but
what
it's
we
a really
do,
nice
Gary.
apartment.
We've got a well-priced one-bedroom
have got a
apartment. There's
well-priced
no question. One of the few that sub that, that early threes.
I mean, it's going to be in the high twos somewhere, Jeremy.
I would have thought so.
Mid to high twos.
Great
Get yourself
investment
down
buying.
there. That's a ripper. Balaclava Road, what a fantastic offering. This one is 37 Balaclava Road. Take us through this property, Jeremy. Tell us a bit
Gary,
about it.
I've got to tell you, 37 Balaclava Road, I have zero idea what you're talking about, other than the fact that when it springs to mind, 37 Balaclava Road is the house.
Yes.
Of course.
Yes,
That's
nice
on the
cover up
corner,
there.
Gary.
Of course it
That's
is.
on the corner. That's a beautiful period home. Whether you want to renovate that home, whether you want to let it out, when I say let it out, lease it out.
Yep.
Because letting out's what you do to pants when you eat too much, isn't it, Gary? You let them out.
I suppose so.
But
Or
there you
just let
go,
them
that's
split.
a good one.
Yeah.
When's the auction on that one, Gary? I should
Balaclava
probably...
Road does come up, Jeremy, on the 14th of July. But hey, I want to talk about Goulet Street, because we've got a great house in Goulet Street.
Well, you know a lot about this one, Gary.
I do. I'm very familiar with it. It's been the same family for a long, long period of time. And there's a lot of bedrooms, a lot of accommodation here. It could be 4 or 5 bedrooms, perhaps, Jeremy.
Family size, Gary, and a
this is
location
big
to
house.
match.
Big house, big value, somewhere in that 1.3 to 1.45, in that sort of 1.3, 1.4 range. That's an exciting one to get yourself down to.
It is,
Acacia
indeed.
Street, Alstonwick is a great address. Take us
Acacia
through
Street,
that
Gary.
property.
This is a little pre-sale.
Yeah,
You know, we're
little
going to auction in a
off-market
couple of
opportunity,
months.
perhaps,
This is a
if you
sort of
will.
a very modern double-storey home built by the good people at Inform Homes.
They do a good job.
This is a really nicely put together home, and what I would describe as icon-rich, with 4 bedrooms, a few bathrooms, off-street cars for multiples.
Do we have photos for that? Because if we
Yes,
do,
we do, of course,
They'll
Gary.
be on the screen
You know,
behind
if
us.
you
We're
were to just
actually in the
switch your
house
head
now.
around, you'd
Yeah.
see that we are in the house as we speak.
It feels
Beautiful
good in
living
here.
areas.
I like it.
Well priced, 1.8 to 2 million, around that sort of area, and open to offers.
And of course, you've just got Gleneye Road literally on your doorstep with all of the wonderful cafes
Williamsburg,
and
your
shops.
partner likes to refer to it
Yes, I know,
as.
he does like to refer to
He
it
likes
as
to refer to a few things as Williamsburg.
He does. What can you do? That's one of his sicknesses. He's just got these certain obsessions, hasn't he?
Well, you know, as
Williamsburg.
with David Letterman, it works for him, and it keeps him at
he
the
is
top of his game
He is a pro, isn't
and
he?
the top of his craft.
193 Elmer Road, another offering coming up
Gary,
in
this
July.
has
actually
to be
August,
the
I
house
think.
of the week.
Comes up in August, okay.
It does come up in August, but once again, what we're trying to do here, because there is a severe lack of stock in the marketplace, Gary.
is, you're right.
And although the vendor has chosen to go to auction at that date, we're bringing it forward a little bit by making it available to buyers.
Okay.
We've got a range of 1.5 to 1.65 in there. This is a beautifully renovated period home, Gary. Over 2 levels. Ground level, you've got a few bedrooms, bathrooms. Upstairs, a master bedroom with ensuite, unless you want to have your master downstairs, because you can do that too. In this living area that is stunning, with this wall. It's like a little Japanese wall, Gary, with these little square sort of paper wall.
Any
You know what I'm
ninjas
talking
anywhere
about?
around there?
No ninjas.
Okay,
Although all ninjas, this
Yep.
is a home for you.
Yeah. Is
So
there- is
I
there
know
a-
you can't ring us, but
Yeah.
if you just send us a message somehow,
Exactly right. You can sell it or sign.
something.
We have got some great offerings coming
Yes.
up, and it's actually an interesting time of year, Jeremy, because we now get into the second half of the year, the real business end of the year. We've got late winter, then we've got spring coming in,
Yes.
And we've got people now who are saying, well, if I want to do something in 2019, I need to be talking to you guys now.
Need to get your skates on, Gary.
Yep.
And the market's in a. It's interesting because we've had a. I think it's fair to
think
say
it's
it's been a
been a lull.
tough 6 months.
It's been a lull.
Banks have been a bit difficult. They've loosened up their lending criteria.
There's
area.
a professional term in the industry for how the real estate market has been over the last 12 months. And
Yes.
Crap would be a good
Oh,
word.
I was thinking something else.
Yeah,
that's
it's been
along
pretty
those
crap.
lines.
And look, it hasn't been crap because the things haven't been selling. It's just the volume of sales have been very,
Well, that
very
hasn't
down.
improved though, Gary.
That's been the problem.
What has improved though is the depth of interest, Gary.
No question, I'll agree
Because you
with
can
you.
see from that
I
weekend
don't
that
often,
we've just had.
or always, but I'm going to agree with you right now.
Thank you, Gary.
You're right.
I'm chuffed that you feel
Yeah.
that way. But the depth of interest is there, the multiple bidders. I think if you were sitting on the fence wondering when a good time to sell is, and we've said this time and time again, that winter really is a great time because the supply and demand is very much in favour of the seller. And as you can see, with multiple bidders, there is a good sort of platform of buyers to work with.
And if you don't want to do it winter, you can get in the early part of spring because I quite like that.
Yes,
that
the
September.
crossover.
Yeah, I like that crossover times before the grand final. It's before the September holidays. If you want to get in sort of August, early September, you can do that too, or just get in for the heart of spring if you want to. But Jeremy, that's a big wrap on the St Kilda and Bayside Report.
Gary.
There's a
I've
lot
got to say, I've loved doing it here, Gary.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it? This is our new home of recording. We can feature all of our homes here. We've got beautiful images of them flashing across the screen with all the technology that we've invested in. And
Do you think we should, now that we're in a new environment and bedded down with this new setup, do you think that I've overdressed? Should we next time make it a little bit more casual?
I don't know. Let's just keep it a bit of a surprise. But
Well,
I mean,
maybe we
you are a
should
good
put it out
dresser.
to
You're
the
a snappy
viewers.
dresser.
Do we,
tie
do
or
t-shirts?
tie-less? T-shirts, maybe.
Shorts. I mean, I think it's fantastic that you've worn your suit with a pair of shorts.
Yeah.
I think, kudos to you that you
No
can
one
get away
can-
with
no
it.
one
You're
can say
very
that.
Mal
Yeah.
Walden behind the desk
Ah, yes. Lots of secrets and mysteries to still be
here.
revealed.
Are they shorts or are they boxer shorts? They almost look like you could go to bed with those ones, Gary.
You never know, Jeremy. We can keep some things to the imagination. I'm not sure if it's better or worse that way, but that is a big wrap on the St Kilda and Bayside Report, wrapping up June 2019. Thank you for viewing. We will bring you all the July news at the end of the month. I'm Gary Peel.
Gary, I'm Jeremy. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Bye now.